The wind howled a symphony of ice and solitude across the vast white expanse of the Alaskan wilderness. For Elias, a young trapper who had traded the bustling streets of Boston for the unforgiving silence of the Yukon, this sound was the soundtrack of his existence. It was a late afternoon in February, and the sky, a bruised canvas of grey and purple, promised a blizzard. Elias, bundled in caribou skins, was checking his last traps near the Kuskokwim River, his breath a white plume against the biting air. He was a man shaped by hard seasons and quiet resilience, his face weathered by the relentless cold, his eyes holding the steady, watchful gaze of a hunter. He hadn't seen another human soul for weeks, a solitude he had come to accept, if not entirely embrace. But today, the silence was different. It was punctuated by a faint, desperate sound, a high-pitched whimper carried on the wind. He followed the sound, his heart thumping a strange rhythm against his ribs. The snow was beginning to fall, a thick, swirling curtain that devoured the landscape. He stumbled upon a small, half-buried figure huddled beneath a rocky outcrop. It was a young woman, her parka caked in snow, her hands and face already a sickly white. She was Inuit, her traditional clothing and intricate beadwork a stark contrast to the desolate surroundings. He knelt beside her, his words a mix of concern and alarm. "Are you all right? You're freezing. We need to get you to my cabin now." Her eyes fluttered open, dark and wide with a mix of fear and exhaustion. She didn't speak, but a weak nod was all the answer he needed. He scooped her into his arms, a surprising lightness to her form. The blizzard was upon them in full force, the world reduced to a maelstrom of white. The wind screamed in his ears, and the snow stung his face like 1,000 tiny needles. He navigated by instinct, the path to his small log cabin etched into his memory. The journey, usually a 20-minute walk, stretched into an eternity. He felt the woman's body tremble against his, her weight a constant reminder of the fragile life he held in his arms. Finally, the dark shape of his cabin emerged from the swirling snow. He kicked the door open, the sudden warmth a shocking relief. He laid her gently on his cot, the furs and blankets a welcome embrace. He lit his oil lamp, the flickering light casting long shadows on the wooden walls. He saw her properly then, a young woman with a round, kind face and 2 long braids of raven hair. She was shivering uncontrollably, her teeth chattering. He stoked the fire, its warmth a living, breathing presence in the small space. He made her hot tea, the warm liquid a welcome shock to her system. Slowly, the color returned to her cheeks, and the fear in her eyes was replaced by a hesitant gratitude. She introduced herself as Anya, her voice a soft, musical sound. She had been separated from her hunting party during the sudden turn in the weather. She had been on her way to a neighboring village, a journey she had made countless times, but the blizzard had caught her by surprise. Her pride was a palpable thing, a quiet struggle against the shame of her predicament. Over the next few hours they talked, a quiet exchange of stories and customs. Elias learned about her family, her life in the village of Kazgik, and the traditions of her people. Anya, in turn, listened to his tales of the city, of a world so foreign and far away it felt like a myth. The chasm between their 2 worlds was vast, but in the small, warm cabin, it felt like they were the only 2 people left in the world. As the blizzard raged outside, their bond began to form, a fragile thread spun from mutual respect and a shared sense of humanity. He saw the strength in her, a quiet resilience that mirrored his own. Her people, she explained, were used to the harsh realities of the North, but even they were at the mercy of the powerful forces of nature. The storm was a reminder of this truth, a lesson in humility and survival. As the fire crackled and the wind howled, Anya fell into a deep, exhausted sleep, her breathing a steady, reassuring rhythm. Elias sat by the fire watching her, a strange sense of peace settling over him. He had saved a life, and in doing so, he had found a connection he hadn't realized he was missing. If you're enjoying this story, remember to subscribe to our channel for more tales of survival, hope, and human connection. The morning dawned in a pristine world of white. The blizzard had passed, leaving a silent, snow-covered landscape that sparkled under the pale sun. Anya woke with a start, the scent of wood smoke and coffee filling the air. Elias was already up, mending his traps by the fire. She felt a profound sense of gratitude, a debt that could not be repaid in words alone. She looked at him, truly seeing him for the first time, a kind stranger who had risked his own life for hers. "My family will be worried," she said, her voice soft but firm. "I must go." Elias nodded, understanding her urgency. He packed a small pouch of dried meat and a skin of water for her journey. The air was still cold, but the sun was beginning to melt the frost on the cabin's window panes. As they stepped outside, the sheer beauty of the landscape was breathtaking. The silence was absolute, broken only by the crunch of their boots on the packed snow. He insisted on walking with her, a gesture of respect and concern. They walked for hours, the vast expanse of the frozen river and snow-covered trees stretching out before them. They spoke little, their silence a comfortable companion. Anya pointed out tracks of caribou and Arctic foxes, her knowledge of the land an innate, profound thing. Elias, in turn, shared his experiences as a trapper, the hard work and quiet satisfaction of a life lived close to the earth. As they approached her village, a small collection of sod houses and igloos nestled against the river, a group of men emerged to meet them. They were her brothers, their faces a mix of relief and anger. Relief for her safe return, and anger that she had been caught by the storm. They looked at Elias with suspicion, their eyes hard and questioning. The cultural divide was a tangible thing, a wall of unspoken suspicion and tradition. Anya quickly explained what had happened, her voice calm and steady. She told them how Elias had found her, how he had saved her life, his cabin providing shelter from the storm. The brothers, Siku and Chikirtak, listened intently, their expressions shifting from suspicion to a deep, thoughtful respect. That evening, Elias was invited to a feast in his honor. The village welcomed him with a quiet reverence, a gratitude so profound it was almost overwhelming. They shared stories, laughter, and a meal of caribou stew and fresh fish. Elias was treated not as a stranger, but as a valued member of their community, if only for a night. The next morning, as Elias prepared to leave, Anya's older brother Siku approached him, his expression serious. "You have honored us, Elias," he said, his voice deep and solemn. "You have shown great courage and kindness. You risked your life for my sister, a debt that can never be fully repaid. The traditions of my people demand that we offer you a gift that is fitting for such a sacrifice." Elias expected a gift of furs, a carved amulet, or maybe some tools. He was a trapper. These were the treasures of the north, but the offer that came next was something he never could have imagined. Siku looked him straight in the eyes, his gaze unwavering. "We offer you my sister," he said. "We offer you Anya to be your wife." Elias was speechless. The world seemed to stop, the wind whispering his name. He looked from Siku to Anya, whose face was a mask of stoic calm, her eyes downcast. She was a gift, a human life offered in exchange for another. The cultural weight of the gesture was immense, a tradition so alien to his own that he struggled to comprehend it. This was not a negotiation. It was a profound act of gratitude and honor, a testament to the life debt he had earned. The offer hung in the air between them, a silent challenge. Elias, a man who had chosen a life of solitude, was now faced with a choice that would forever alter the course of his existence. He had come to the north to escape the world, and now the world was offering him a life he had never thought possible. The weight of the offer was a physical presence, a knot in Elias's stomach. He looked at Anya, whose face revealed nothing of her emotions. Her stillness was a shield, a tradition of quiet resilience. He knew this was not a matter of a simple yes or no. This was about respect, about two cultures colliding in a way that had profound consequences. He needed to understand. He asked for time to think, and Siku granted it, a nod of silent understanding. The days that followed were a blur of internal conflict. He walked the land, the vast, silent landscapes reflecting the turmoil in his heart. He thought of his life in Boston, the loneliness he had carried with him. He had found solace in the wild. But was it enough? He spent time with Anya and her family, observing their way of life. He saw the strength and harmony of their community, the deep bonds that held them together. He saw the way Anya moved, with a quiet grace and purpose. He saw the love and respect she had for her family, and the way they treasured her. He realized this offer was not just about him and Anya, it was about him joining a family, a community, a life he knew nothing about. Anya, in turn, began to open up to him. She told him about her aspirations, her hopes for the future, and her desire to be a bridge between her world and his. She did not speak of love or romance, but of partnership and mutual respect. She saw in him a man of honor, a man who understood the language of the land and the quiet strength of survival. He realized the offer was not a burden, but an invitation. It was a chance to build something real, to find a connection deeper than he had ever known. The romance would grow from this foundation of respect and shared humanity. He had rescued her from the cold, and now she was offering him a warmth he had never known. After a week, he made his decision. He approached Siku, his heart pounding with a strange mix of fear and excitement. "I accept your offer," he said, his voice steady. "I will be honored to take Anya as my wife." A wave of relief and joy washed over the family. Anya's face, for the first time, broke into a small, radiant smile. There were no grand ceremonies, no lavish celebrations. The wedding was a quiet, intimate affair, a simple exchange of vows and a joining of two families. Over the years, Elias and Anya built a life together. He learned their language, their traditions, and their deep connection to the land. He taught them about his world, the stories and songs of a life far away. They had children, a beautiful mix of two cultures, their lives a testament to the power of love and acceptance. Elias never regretted his decision. He had come to the north seeking solitude, but he had found something far more profound. He had found a family, a home, and a love that was forged in the harsh realities of the Alaskan wilderness. He had been a stranger, and now he was family. He had rescued an Inuit woman from the blizzard, and in return he had been given a gift more precious than any he could have imagined. His life, a simple story of a trapper and a woman, was a testament to the idea that true wealth is not measured in possessions, but in the richness of human connection. The cold had brought them together, but it was the warmth of their love that sustained them, a beacon in the vast, silent expanse of the Alaskan wilderness. If you want to be part of our community and see more stories like this, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share your thoughts in the comments below.